have not seen any commercials, we have not seen any ads, we have not seen any Caitlin Clark merchandise, and we for sure as hell have not seen any Caitlin Clark signature shoes.
Caitlin Clark has by no means risen to fame faster. Clark has redefined what being a rookie looks like in the WNBA and earned the crown of the WNBA Rookie of the Year. And her presence on the court, her impact in that very way, whether it's that quality about her that pushes the bounds of what the WNBA can be, whether it's how she made fans fall in love with her, it's all of it. Instead, what's more interesting than her rise is the corporate reaction to her success. Really lack of it, specifically from Nike. While Clark is perhaps an outlier, her standout performances and marketability seem to have fallen on deaf ears, as Nike has apparently released no merchandise and no signature shoes for the rising star. There's a gaping opportunity for other brands to take this moment, and Adidas hasn't missed a beat in seizing it. However, even with her historic breakthrough, one glaring problem stands out. Nike, a sportswear giant, has yet to pay her any mind. It would seem that a player of this caliber would be embraced by Nike with signature merchandise easily flying off the shelves. Surprisingly, Nike has not yet released any gear with Caitlin Clark. No shirts, no signature shoes, no nothing. Many are scratching their heads over this neglect. With Caitlin Clark fast ascending to one of the biggest stars in women's basketball, how could a brand that's so embedded in the sports world not capitalize on one of their biggest stars? So just recently, a shirt celebrating her success sold out in just half an hour. And it is true, it is 50 minutes. Caitlin Clark merchandise is flying off of fans' stores, but it seems Nike's getting other athletes rather than Clark, a worthy athlete and one probably a million times more talented than Aja Wilson, despite the lady being a phenomenal player, if not the best. The question on everyone's mind is simple: why isn't Caitlin Clark getting the spotlight she so clearly deserves from Nike? As Nike wavers though, Adidas is coming up. Clark brings more to the table as a player and as a personality, but Adidas has not been afraid to show her praises, open for everyone to see. This is not a small gesture. Endorsements and brand deals are a big part of a player's career, in the world of professional sports anyway, and those endorsements and brand deals can be even more important in women's sports, where financial opportunities can be mitigated. Caitlin Clark appears to have positively impacted Adidas' decision to become the official uniform provider for women's, or as they're calling it, grown artists basketball in partnership with Mostly. Clark is also making his mark beyond the business side of the league itself. Sales of tickets have taken off since she joined the WNBA. They attend arenas, mere fans waiting to watch her play. I don't know if it's her shooting, thinking, or just her sheer charisma, but people want to watch Clark, so her playing style is fast, a fast and exciting style of play that's perfect to draw in both casual viewers and die-hard basketball fans. The numbers on the stat sheet aren't what make it, it's the electrifying atmosphere she creates. Clark's influence is not only ticket sales, her rise has also led viewership for WNBA games to surge. The Women's Basketball League was always going to struggle in terms of getting the same sort of attention that the men's league gets, but now apparently people are tuning in at much higher rates with Caitlin Clark in the mix. It shows how marketable and how appealing she is as a viewer. Possessing a transcendent game, Caitlin Clark has become something bigger than the game itself, a cultural figure, a signifier of some new age in women's basketball. Unfortunately, the league and its sponsors haven't been willing to give her her due credit. While Adidas has been quick to throw arms around her, the WNBA has dragged its feet in seeing her rise to stardom. This slow acknowledgement underscores a broader issue within women's sports: lack of timely backing of the best talents. Caitlin Clark's accomplishments are a clear read signal of change in the landscape, but brands and organizations to play catch up. There's a broader cultural shift happening too. Caitlin Clark isn't just another rookie. She's one of a new generation of women's basketball players rewriting how they conduct their sport. The fact that her confidence on the court and the fact that she connects with diverse audiences, it was just not seen before at this level. It isn't just basketball. She's changing how people view the game. Now more young girls decide to start picking up a basketball with the dream of someday making the WNBA. She's breaking tradition, creating an environment of possibility for what women's sports can and will become. It's not just Caitlin Clark who is helping to redefine the league, and it's not just in Toronto. Angel Reese has been making her own mark on the WNBA alongside other players. Reese, however, has been sidelined by an injury, and with that, the race for Rookie of the Year has changed. Reese's absence only makes Clark's dominance become more and more plain. Certainly a shame about that for Reese, as she has been ruled out, but it has brought into strong focus just how exceptional Caitlin Clark is. If you add the injuries facing confusing other players in addition to her performance, this Rookie of the Year race is only more confusing. Even the MVP race is still unpredictable. Aja Wilson, the best player of a generation, was carving out a path to be a major contributor to the MVP award. But a recent injury has put a spanner in the works for her campaign. With Wilson out, other players are being mentioned more and more in MVP conversations, one of them Caitlin Clark. Clark is a rookie, but her performances have been so consistent, she is in the mix for MVP in a way that wouldn't be a shock for her sooner rather than later. Sports commentator Dan Patrick has even joined the call for Pat Clark to win, going on record as an MVP candidate. She may be a rookie, but in his eyes, she's one of the biggest players in the league. Clark doesn't have just fans and player backers, she's cashed in on some of the biggest names in sports media as well, including SportsCenter host Stephen A. Smith and ESPN's Bill Simmons. Yet it's important not to forget these injuries. Then things have changed dramatically in the race for MVP, as Aja Wilson's injury has done. Unfortunately, injuries are always part of sports. However, it leads to opportunity for other players to step up. Caitlin Clark is way brighter than ever, and right now, it should be interesting to see how the MVP race shapes up as the season progresses, with Clark only continuing to keep delivering some of the best performance after performance this season. Meanwhile, the precipitous viewer drop S in the wake of Caitlin Clark's playoff exit underscores how important she's become to the league. People watch when Clark is on the court. It brings people to the game and brings life to the game like she's there. The WNBA has undoubtedly benefited from having Clark as one of its brightest stars. But this dip in viewership also highlights a potential weakness. She's too reliant on the league. If the WNBA wants to grow, it needs to figure out how to keep people engaged once stars like Clark aren't in the playoffs. Caitlin Clark is no rookie, and it's clear she's more than just a talented one. She is a catalyst for the WNBA because she's helping to expand out the league and bring more focus to the game of women's basketball. She's marketable off the charts. Her potential is limitless. Clark is real, either on the court with those breathtaking performances or off the court with the connection she is able to make with fans. Nike is slow to see her, but brands like Adidas are already fully leveraging her ascent. It looks like a major missed opportunity for Nike and something that could come back to bite them later if Clark continues to shift and bulldoze her way to a huge fan base without Nike behind her. The WNBA is in a new space and Caitlin Clark has taken the reins. All in all, Caitlin Clark's WNBA Rookie of the Year campaign has been like trying to contain the rising sun. She's playing basketball, but she's changing the game.
Look at what we're witnessing. She buried Angel Reese in Chicago last Friday. The Fever blew out the sky on a night when Dopey DeShields delivered 3 cheap shots.
In Trust Arena, the Fever really stretched out this one.
Clark posted 31 points and 12 assists in a 19